Hi everyone. I am so sorry it's taken me so long to record another episode of Keeping Up with Kenyarn, but here we are for episode 2, and I have so many things to catch everyone up on and show off. And the most exciting thing is that I had the chance to do a pre-recorded video with Toni Lipsey of TLYarncrafts, crochet guru, crochet goddess, whatever the word is, you know, Toni is the queen of crochet. So I'm so excited to share that footage. We played games, we laughed / cackled. It was such a great time. So I'm really excited to share that with you. So since the last time we talked, I have been doing a lot of traveling for different trunk shows. We were able to visit Niantic, Connecticut, to visit Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. In January, I had a brief vacation in Rincon, Puerto Rico. It was such a fun trip, and honestly just the sunshine and the salt water was like all I needed to cure my woes. No, but it was a really great trip. When I got back though, I was waiting on a ton of different knitting samples that came in from my sample knitters, using my core collection that is available at Kenyarn.com. It's all dyed to order. Okay, so the first sample that I got was the Dot Shawl by Casapinka. Bronwyn from Casapinka, the designer behind Casapinka, we've worked together before. She's from Rhode Island, so she's very local to me. The cool thing about the shawl is that it's a 3-skein fingering weight project, but the contrast color that works in these cute little dots, the cool thing about this is that I feel like a lot of us have that 1 skein of fingering weight variegated that we really wanted because we really loved, but now we're like, well, what do we do with this? And I think that this is a really great pattern for that. So it features the contrast colorway along the border here, and then it also integrates into the small tiny dots in this shawl. This is our royalty colorway, this really beautiful blue, and this has a really great wingspan, like really big. And the other colorway for the border and for each of the little dots is Shell Phone. Both these colorways are dyed to order at Kenyarn.com, but I just loved this little mermaid number, and it's so wearable. It feels so great. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. We love this. I'm actually gonna wear this for the rest of the video. The second sample that we got was from our assigned pooling pre-order. So for those of you who are not familiar with assigned pooling, it's a knitting technique that utilizes the color gaps in colorways that have like a large gap of color. And patterns that use assigned pooling actually like utilize different stitches during only those portions of the color. So it's kind of like choose your own adventure with yarn. But I featured kits for the Cuddle Puddle Wrap by Darcy Does It, and we dyed up 5 different colorways for that. We do have 3 of the kits left at Kenyarn.com, but I wanted to show you one of them. I'm gonna back up because this is a pretty big shawl. So this is the Cuddle Puddle Wrap, and this is in our colorway Mojo Jojo, the famous villain from the Powerpuff Girls. But this is such a fun knit. It's a sea of garter, and then what happens is whenever you approach one of the pooling sections, you use these really fun elongated stitches to kind of just add this really cool like sonic vibration effect. So this is only 2 skeins of fingering weight. It is absolutely enormous. It is so perfect, and I love it. It goes right over this other shawl too. We have 3 colorways or 3 kits for this Cuddle Puddle wrap left in stock. So if you'd like one and you've been on the fence, go snag one. Really, this is like also really great for, this pattern is like awesome for beginner knitters who have never done assigned pooling before and kind of want to like dip their toe into the waters of this technique. It's a lot easier than it might be explained or it might look. But yeah, oh, also I'm in my studio today. I decided to switch it up. I know I usually record at home in my office, but I figured it would be fun to give you a change of scenery. Okay, I'm gonna take this off because I want to show you this next one. Okay, so the next sample that we got was the Garter Snake Cowl by Lavagna Patricella. Now this is a brioche tubular cowl with, and you can see the front of it, a reverse stockinette on the bottom that creates this, I don't know if you can really see it, that diamond motif. It's very, very subtle. We worked it up in these sort of like 2 low contrast colorways. These are our colorways Fruit Wine and Chocolate Square that are coming to the website soon. But this uses 2 colors of Aurora fingering weight yarn, and it's just like really, really straightforward, super straightforward pattern. If you love brioche, then this is definitely the pattern for you. I love the low contrast of this brown and pink together, and it has like such good stretch all around, so it doesn't feel like too suffocating, and you're able to like kind of block it to where you want it. I was actually looking at this while we were coming up with kits. I almost did axolotl and bitter for this kit, but then I said, you know what, this is going to be so good for fall, and this is like more of a summer palette, obviously. But great pattern. Next, oh, this is like the big mumbo jumbo. So we have, in our core collection, we have a green that is titled, Deep Woods right here, and I am just obsessed with it paired with the Dolly colorway from our core collection too. So I had one of the sample knitters work up a pattern that I have wanted to wear for a really, really long time, and I very much, when I opened this package, I was like, my heart, this is so amazing. So I'm gonna stand up and show this to you. This is the Starflake shawl by West Knits, knit in 2 skeins of Dolly and 2 skeins of Deep Woods. So look at this. It really is so, so, so epic. I love the shawl. I have always wanted to knit it for myself, but honestly, it's like, it's one of those things that just has been in my queue, and I'm pretty new to brioche, so it's a little bit intimidating. But the cool thing about this pattern is that the brioche section, Stephen actually gives you instructions for doing garter stitch in place of the brioche if it's too intimidating. So I really have no excuse about why I haven't knit it yet, but I just had to get a sample in these 2 colorway pairings, and I'm obsessed. Both these colorways are available at Kenyarn.com, dyed to order whenever you want. 2 skeins of Dolly and 2 skeins of Deep Woods. I'm just very much on a fingering weight kick lately. And I feel like I never used to be like that. I always wanted to knit with thicker yarns. But lately I'm just like, I mean, I'm obsessed with this drape. Like, come on, you can't get that with a DK or worsted. Every month, Kenyarn offers 2 colorways for 10% off. We offer a special on our colors of the month. So for March, our variegated and our solid colorways are Rock and Rose, which is this gorgeous neutral flecked with olive and toffee and pink, rose and charcoal and black, and it really is like a cacophony of like just really awesome colors. And I dyed a semi-solid colorway titled Pancakes to go with it. And so I wanted to show you a pattern that I am currently writing. It is not published yet, but it will be soon. It's really beginner friendly. As you know, I really just love knitting simple things, but it uses Rock and Rose and pancakes. It's a really fun texture, and I love just like the simple color, you know, row changes. I'm obsessed, and I cannot wait to show you this. But the other like really fun thing is that every time I dye a variegated yarn, I pair it with one semi-solid, obviously, but I always feel like it doesn't do a variegated yarn as much justice as it could. So I played around this month and I started to do something called a dissection series. And what that means is basically I take a variegated colorway that I dye and I break it down into like all of the different color profiles within it. You know, because when we dye variegated yarn, sometimes there can be like 6 or 7 speckle colors. But what if we were to use those speckle colors and flush them out into semi-solids? So what I did was I came up with a mini set, the Rock and Rose mini set, and it features 10 mini skeins that pair with Rock and Rose. And the cool thing about this is that you not only get the 10 mini skeins with your package, but you actually get a full skein of Rock and Rose. So they all go together. So this is our Rock and Rose colorway right here. And first we have this vanilla cream that goes with it. Then I did a really exciting gold. We have this beautiful dusty sagey clay color. I think I need to dye that in a bigger skein soon. This little dot of pink rose. This is really fun. We have both shades of gray, sort of like this lavender gray, and then we have this like darker charcoal gray. And then we have our 2 shades of sort of like buttery toffee, one a little bit more brown orange leaning and the other one a little bit more like caramel vanilla leaning. And then we have this dusty gray green, and we have this beautiful little pop of sage. This is actually that 3rd green. So these are all together. You can see that, you know, they are all very different, but subtly. So these sets, so basically you're getting 3 skeins of Aurora fingering, but this is so good for projects that like want to utilize minis. I mean, just look at this color palette. It's really good. It's like, it's very winter. I'll say it. It is very winter, but for all of my winter palette girls out there, this is for you. Oh, I'm obsessed. So yeah, so I'm hoping every month that we release our color of the month variegated, we also release our semi-solid, but then we do a few of these mini sets to sort of like break down kind of like all of the fun stuff that's in a variegated scheme that we don't really get to see. So as a reminder, all of the colorways that I've featured in these patterns are available at kenyarn.com, dyed to order. The cool thing is that on the website, you know, you're able to select not only the colorway, but the weight that you want it on. And we do try to give photos of every single weight. We don't typically offer mohair for all of our variegated colorways, but we do offer mohair for all of our semi-solids. I apologize to those who love Surrey. I am just like so allergic to it that it makes it really, really uncomfortable to dye. But we do offer our Foggy Aran base, which does have a small Surrey component to it if you're looking for that like lush alpaca feel. I'm mentioning this because we have like, see, this is Rock and Rose on Aurora Fingering, and then you get it on our Cumulus Bulky base. So yeah, so we really have the colorway for any project that you're working on. So before we get started with our Toni Lipsey interview, I also just wanted to mention a few upcoming events. We are going to be March 25th to March 27th. We will be at Annie & Co. in New York City. It is the most adorable little shop, but if you are a New Yorker or you're in Connecticut or anywhere close around there, please come and visit. We're going to be there during their store hours from March 25th to March 27th. I don't like to overload folks with information, but we will be doing another second trunk show in April at Wild Hand. So if you're from that area, we'll also be there. We're trying to really like travel the US this year. It's a really exciting opportunity for us, and it's one that I'm already having so much fun. We're only 3 months into the year, and it really, really has been just such a blast. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Toni Lipsey of TLYarncrafts. Well, hello everyone. We are so excited today because we have a very special guest, Toni Lipsey of TLYarncrafts, cat whisperer, crochet savant, you name it, she does it. Yeah, welcome, Toni.
Thanks, Shay. Thanks for having me. Hi, everybody.
So we like to start these interviews with, what are you reading, what are you watching, and what are you snacking on?
Okay. Wow. Oh, I love this question already. Okay. So I am reading Rock, Paper, Scissors. I think her name is like Lisa Feeney or something. It's a good old domestic thriller about this couple that rents a cabin to try to save their marriage. And I'm still pretty early in, but I think some stuff's about to go down. Something's about to go down. So that one's really, really good. I read another book from her, Daisy Darker, that was kind of a play on Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None, which is like one of my favorite books of all time. So I'm going down a rabbit hole of her books. So you said, what am I reading? What am I snacking on? What was I snacking on yesterday? Oh, I made a milkshake in the house for the first time.
Love
that. It was delicious. I made like a chocolate strawberry milkshake. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to have some treats, let me try to save a couple dollars. I'll make it in the house. So I made my first milkshake and it was a success. You said, what am I reading? What am I snacking on? And what am I making?
What are you watching?
What am I watching? Oh gosh, a couple things. So I'm watching Last of Us.
Okay.
So I'm 2 episodes behind. And I don't need any spoilers because I'm obsessed with this show, but I've been traveling a bit, so I'm a little bit behind. So I'm watching Last of Us. And then also this show called BMF, which is based off of like this like black drug gang in Detroit, like a way back, but it's a dramatization, which is kind of, it's like, it's honestly low-key a soap opera. It's like a drug gang soap opera, and I love it. It's corny and cheesy, and it's produced by 50 Cent. So
nice.
Yeah, it's a fun watch. It's fun to watch for sure. But
I love any show where like, I mean, I don't care about the level of drama, but like I want to be like hanging by a thread at the end of every episode. Like, okay, I guess I gotta go.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I do.
I am reading one of, oh God, what is it called? I forget it. It was from Book of the Month, but it is the same. It's like a 3 best friends when they're little, like something traumatic happens to them. And then like now they're grown-ups and like secrets are coming out of the woodwork type of book. Yeah, really good. And the narrator is like so unreliable. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like Girl on the Train, where like she'll get like really drunk or on wine or something, and then like
Uh-huh.
you'll miss like gaps in her memory. So I love that kind of stuff. Um, I'm watching Walking Dead because I've never watched Walking Dead, and now like it was bad timing because way before like, or like right before Last of Us came out, I was already in season 4. So I'm like, well, now I can't stop watching The Walking Dead. But once I finish that, I'm gonna watch Last of Us. But no spoilers, people.
Wait, you're gonna wait till you get all the way through all of The Walking
Well, I'm
Dead?
almost done. Like
Okay,
I'm,
okay,
yeah, like it's been my like background show, so it's kind of just been like there's 11 seasons, and I'm on season 9. So
okay,
like,
okay,
yeah,
good.
so I'll be good.
Yeah, you said
Um,
season 4. I was like, wait, you gotta
yeah,
wait. No, okay, okay, good. Okay. I
and
think you are going, if you enjoy The Walking Dead, I think you're going to love Last of Us. And I have to say, the acting is blowing my mind right now. Like, I thought this was just going to be a zombie situation. No, it is much more than just zombies. It's a
uh,
really great story.
yeah, I have heard nothing but like amazing things.
Mhm.
And what am I snacking on? Oh God, late yes, or the other day we made I got this recipe, or I didn't actually, this is such a lie. I didn't make it, but in my head I've made it because I just saved the recipe. Like
Uh,
I saw this recipe for where you like melt down like butter and seasonings, and then you like kind of like a Chex Mix, but you put them over Cheez-Its and then you
oh,
rebake
yeah.
them. Oh, I gotta send it to you. It's like hot honey Cheez-Its or something. Like, yeah.
Please do, because my snack situation is very basic. It's been like peanut butter pretzels, and that's about it.
Yeah. I
You
don't
mean,
get super creative, but with
well, that sounds
Fergie,
delicious.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it was only fitting for me to have you as our first guest because it feels like we have kind of like had like karmic connection since we started. But you were like the first designer to reach out and ask if I wanted to collaborate, which like literally was like 7 years, 6 years ago or something.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, can you believe how long ago it was?
I still remember it. It was on Easter, and I was like, oh heck yes. And that's how the Coles River Kerchief was
Old
born.
River Kerchief. Yeah, I remember when I was even looking up the name for that project. I was like, let me find something real cute around the Rhode Island area. Um,
Mhm.
that was a lot of fun. I remember when the yarn arrived too, I was like, single ply, this beautiful blue, a blue that I would never have picked for myself, which is one of the reasons I'm obsessed with you, because I'm like, you push me out of my comfort zone. And I'm like, I need somebody to do that, because otherwise Toni lives in a cute little peach and blue and green box that I could stay in my whole life. But Jake's like, we're gonna do something a little different. And I mean, that was the start. That was the start. Yeah.
But you have like really like when I like see when I see like a like caramel or toffee or like cantaloupe, I just think of you. So it's like it's very easy to like match like a color set to you. So tell us, like, I promise we don't have to go too deep into it, but tell us a little bit about like how you got started as a fiber artist, and like from then to now, kind of like an abridged version.
I love telling the story. So I'll tell you the short version. So I learned to crochet from my mom when I was 13. It was really just a, aimless teenager moment. I need something to do. So she puts the granny square in my hand, tells me to keep going. It turns into this hideous camouflage blanket. But I still remember, and I still draw from that feeling of having turned a ball of yarn into an actual usable thing. At 13 years old, I'm like, I did not know I could do this. And I'm kind of obsessed with this superpower. So made this blanket, had a really great opportunity to connect with my mom over that summer, but I ended up putting yarn down, and it wasn't part of my life for probably a good 10 years after that. But I made my way back around it because I was kind of in this weird spot in life. I had just gotten married. I had just moved to Ohio, so away from all of my family, my friends, my networks, my school, my everything. And it was 2010 and I couldn't find a job. And I'm like, okay, what is my like 3-wing 2 type A self gonna do? I'm unemployed and I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing something. So I was like, let me just get a craft and let that be the thing that I do when I take a break from applying for jobs, which is a job in and of itself. So I end up in Michael's. And at first I started with jewelry, didn't stick. And then I went back and I ended up in the yarn aisle. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I turned the corner. Like imagine, I'm sure we can all imagine being in Michael's and you're walking down the big aisle that gets you to the yarn. You turn the corner and it's just yarn everywhere. It's yarn all the way up to the ceiling. It's yarn on the back wall. It's yarn to the left and to the right. And I was like, you know what? This feels right. Something about me being here and this being here feels right. So like any new crocheter, I grabbed all the sparkly, shiny, pretty, colorful things with no regard to yarn weights, fiber. I don't have a project in mind. I was like, oh, it's pretty, put it in the cart. Like, let's go, just take it all home. So I take it home, and between YouTube and a couple patterns that I found on Etsy, I kind of got myself back into crochet and kind of self-taught some of those other concepts that I didn't learn just from having practice at Granny Square. So fast forward a couple years, I'm making things for friends and family. They don't want stuff anymore. So I'm like, I'm going to keep making things. So I start selling at craft shows, parlays into teaching at yarn stores. And then all of that transitions into designing. And then Instagram comes along and I'm like, here we go. Here we go. So, and it's funny because I scrolled back and the very first photo I posted on Instagram was a peanut butter. And I was like, yeah, it was meant to, it was meant to be. So yeah, that's kind of what got me here. I will definitely say that crochet has always played more of a role in my life than just something to do. It's always kind of filled a hole, filled a void, given me a sense of purpose outside of, whatever else I have going on. Once I got back into crochet in my 20s, it was really because I needed to feel productive. I needed to feel like I was accomplishing something. So yeah, and I think it's still that for me. I definitely enjoy it and I love it, but crochet it's literally a therapy for me. Like I need it.
Yeah, that resonates like so strong because honestly, it's like if I don't go on a vacation and I like forget my project or like a 3-day week, it's like, no, it's like I need I need that like motion and that like state of mind to kind of like recalibrate at the end of the day. Or like I never get to knit unless it's like at night. So it's like those like 2 hours, like when I get home and I've like done all other responsibilities, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. Yeah.
Finally. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is, I know, your story resonates with like a lot of us, a lot of people who have also kind of had like the same path, but it's also like in your DNA because your mom is like a fiber savant too.
Oh my gosh. If y'all think I'm talented, like if I could have the talent in the tip of my mom's pinky finger, okay? She is the kind of person who like, it's like yarn speaks to her. Like she'll walk in a room and see yarn and it's like, I'm pulling this and I'm pulling this and I'm putting this together. And I'm like, wait, what? Take a breath. But I was like, no, she doesn't need to. Like it's so automatic for her. And she's been doing it. It's been a practice of hers for her entire life. So but what I appreciate about her is that she's not scared of color. My mom embraces every single color of the rainbow. And the way that she's able to pull yarns together, I'm like, I literally never would have thought of that. And even with it in your hands, I'm still a little skeptical. And then when she turns it into something, I'm like, you know what? I never should have doubted you. That was on me. That's my bad. So yeah, it's definitely in the genes. I've gotten a fraction of the talent and I'm grateful for it. And I think even beyond that, I'm so happy to have something that we can share. My mom and I have always been very, very close, but the fact that I'm able to take her to the yarn stores that I teach at or to fiber festivals, introducing her to my yarny friends, and she's connecting with them on whole different levels. Like I feel very blessed to have that connection with her. That yarn always brings us back to center. And yeah, she's pretty talented. I'll definitely say. Yeah.
She is so fun. I know like 3 years ago when we were together at Rhinebeck, she like brought a bunch of yarn skeins from home and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna do like a top for tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. And then like she walked down the stairs and was like, do you like my top? I'm like, did you use a pattern? She's like, no.
Oh,
I'm like, okay.
That's the funny thing about her. And it's just the way that her mind works. She's the kind of person who can look at something and be like, I can make that. I can do that real quick. And she knows her body and her measurements so well. She's made herself so many sweaters and tops. Like she doesn't even have to measure anymore. Like we were literally driving to one of my yarn events and she started a sweater in the car. I was like, you need to tape measure. You need to something. Nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
Just started a top down sweater. I'm like, okay, lady. Thanks for showing off.
I love that. So this is one of my favorite questions that I get asked. So I'm going to ask you, but what is one thing that people would be surprised to know about you?
Oh my. I think one thing people will be surprised to know about me in running a yarny business is how little I actually get to crochet. Like, I think people are under the impression that a full-time designer gets to sit at home and like chill in the corner of her couch with her incense and her tea and just crochet while the sun is up, like literally never. Honestly, I spend the majority of my time sitting in front of this computer, replying to emails, writing blog posts, editing patterns, communicating with collaborators. And I love my work. I feel very blessed that I get to do it. But I think it's about time we're all a little bit more honest about what it takes to really run a fiber business. Because I think a lot of people aspire to this and the dedication you have to have because of how little you actually get to do the art part. Like I think maybe that is under communicated. So I think that's something people might be surprised by. It's just how much administration really goes into running any kind of fiber business.
I feel that's so hard. Like, honestly, people are like, when are you going to do new colorways? And it's like, when I have a day to like dye new, you know what I mean? Like, and it's a good, it's like a good problems to have. Like, but I agree. It's like it's hard to, it's sometimes like you have to purposely carve out that creative time for new designs and for like new, like things for the future and stuff like that. Yeah, I totally get that. Okay, so I came up with, in order to get to know you better, I also came up with a series of rapid fire questions. So I am going to shoot them out and then you choose one or the other.
Okay.
All right. And some of them are just like singular word answers. So one craft that you want to learn.
Sewing. Really, really, really bad. I want to make, like, it's my life's goal to make myself a pair of jeans.
Can we like take a sewing class together? Because I have wanted to do it forever.
Yes.
Like just, I'll make a pillow. Like, I don't care. Just get me on the machine and like.
So I heard that a good start, especially because like I want to go straight to garments. I tried a pillow. I made a very successful pillow, easier than you would think, but that's where I stopped. I don't know why, but I was talking to someone, they're like, well, if you want to get to jeans, that's like a level 5. If you want to start at level 1, pajama pants.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what? I could get down on some pajama pants.
Yeah, like very forgiving. You know, like if there's errors, like,
you know, I was like, who's gonna notice? As long as they fit me, I was like, I can find some really cute prints, get a little stretch going. I was like, yeah,
okay, I like that. But yeah, I've also wanted to learn forever too. So
let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Favorite color?
Pink.
Yeah. Pink, brown leaning, or orange leaning. It's like,
yes, absolutely.
You're a warm tones. You know,
I am. I'm a warm tone, hands down. And I feel like that warm tone has been like an undercurrent of TLYarncrafts since the beginning, and I didn't even know it. And now I'm like fully leaning into and embracing it. And you're right, it can range from orange, brown, pink, wherever. Yep, I'll take it all.
Love that. Okay, one crochet stitch for the rest of your life. I have a feeling I know what you're gonna say, but I'll hold back.
Oh my gosh, one stitch for the rest of my life. I mean, oh God. Oh God, this is hard. Okay, I'm gonna go with linen stitch. I'm gonna go linen. I would say granny because I'm obsessed. I love it. And I would say Tunisian simple stitch because I do this a lot and I'm also a fan, but I would probably go linen stitch just because it's fast, it's easy, and it's got a lot of applications. So I'm going to go linen stitch.
Love it. Love it. Mine would probably be half double.
Yeah.
I just could do it all day. Like, it's just like, coffee or tea?
Coffee all day long, morning, noon, and night. Yes.
Yeah, same. I like should not drink coffee after 2 p.m., but I do.
I still do. Yeah. I My friend gave me a Starbucks gift card when I came to visit her last weekend, and I was waiting at the T-Mobile store for my phone to get ready, and there's a Starbucks right around the corner. It's like 4:30, and I'm like, you know what? I could get down on a shake and espresso real quick, and I definitely popped over there. Was I up until like 2 o'clock in the morning? Yes, but also fine with that. I'll take it.
Yeah. I know. I like know. And when like 6 o'clock rolls around, you like immediately know what kind of night it's gonna be. You're like, oh God, I should not have had that cup of
You're like,
coffee.
I am still wide awake.
Shower or bath?
Shower,
Me too. Baths are weird for me.
like I love a hot tub moment. I will chill in
Mhm.
a hot tub all night. But if it's like I just need to get clean, I need to do it as quickly as possible so I can move on with my day. I don't really
Yeah.
languish in my bathing.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's also like for me who has like literal alligator skin, it's like a bath is my worst nightmare. To
Oh
sit
yeah.
like to stand in hot water for that long.
You're
I'm
gonna
like,
have to moisturize for like a half hour
yeah,
straight.
yeah.
Gosh, yeah, no, it's shower, straight shower for me. 8 minutes in and out. I've timed it. I need to know.
I love that. Massage or facial? I knew
Um,
this one would trip you up.
like both, please. If I could only choose one, honestly, I'd probably go with facial because I have really bad eczema and it's like it's wreaking havoc, and I could definitely get down on a professional handling this. That would be great.
I'm on the other side only because I like need a professional to like make sure my back doesn't break. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
but a facial, I feel like I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I've gotten into a pretty good routine.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. But I mean, I've never gotten, oh, I have gotten a facial once, but it was a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Oh, do it again. I mean, honestly, I didn't get into facials until like probably my early 30s, and I wish I would have done it sooner. Like it's honestly so soothing. If you get an esthetician who really knows their stuff and like puts together a routine for you, life changing. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I've
really
always wanted to do that like steam gun where it's like a very like they drag it around. Like, yeah, I would love that.
yeah.
Um, all right, Tunisian or traditional?
Oh, Jake.
I know.
Um, wow. That's tough because it's like, can you really have one without the other? Okay, if I could only do one, oh man. I'd probably take Tunisian, honestly. I would say between the two, Tunisian is just a little bit more fun for me because I feel like I'm still exploring it. And crochet is kind of my old standby. That's my tricycle. And Tunisian is like my motorbike. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets me revved up. It gets me really, really excited. So yeah, I'd probably go Tunisian.
Yeah, you're a Gemini, so like I feel like something that still gives you excitement would be the choice, you know.
Yeah. Like
Um,
what's getting me up in the morning? I think it's probably
yeah.
using crochet. That's exciting for me still.
Um, Superwash or non-superwash?
Superwash. And it's a big debate. And I definitely get both sides, but like I need my crochet to be fun. And I love the feel of superwash. I love the look of it. I love how easy it is to take care of. And I love that it's easy to find. That helps as well too. So yeah, I'm going superwash all day.
Yeah, I definitely would too. I mean non-superwash, I feel like I have like a few skeins and they're like for a very certain project for me,
Yes.
but I agree.
Yeah.
Pancakes or waffles?
Oh, pancakes, always. I've
Same.
never really been a waffle person. They get cold immediately. Like
Yes.
I can't
I
with a
agree.
waffle.
It's like how many times you go to a restaurant, you order a waffle and it comes like a ice brick.
Really. And
Yeah.
yeah, pancakes all day, especially if you cook them in butter and they get crispy around the edges.
Oh yeah. I
Ooh.
pancakes have been my like I would never choose French toast. And that like probably would enrage a lot of people, but pancakes are always my jam.
Yes, I'm a pancake fan by far.
All right. And last one, horror movie or rom-com?
You know what? I'll probably take a horror movie again for the excitement. Like rom-coms are super cute and sweet, and I could watch them all day. But like, give me a horror movie, like that's gonna get me engaged. Like I'm gonna watch that, you know. And
Yeah.
Like I'm terrible with jump scares though. Like I'm gonna be screaming and like grabbing your leg the whole time. It's gonna be an adventure, but yeah, definitely a horror movie for sure.
I'm so with you. We watched last night this rom-com that like we went into like the depths of HBO Max, like looking
Yeah.
at their rom-coms, and we found this like I had never heard of this movie. It's like a Sandra Bullock movie with like Keanu Reeves, and like first of all, either time travel or I don't even know. Honestly, Toni, it was so confusing. Like I was like, what is happening? And like, how is it happening? Is this magic? Or is like it made like no sense. But there was like this magic mailbox where like this woman was putting letters in it, Sandra Bullock, and then like a guy who was living in the same house 2 years in the future was getting the letters and writing them back. And then they realized that they were 2 years apart. But then like the timelines, like it was so it was like so confusing.
Sounds like somebody really overthought that.
Yeah, so if you want something that's like just outlandish, there you go. That's a good one. And Keanu Reeves, I noticed like he says he like delivers all his lines like he's like trying to like sell like a car. You know, it's like if you were like doing a slow motion spin around of a car. Honestly, I was laughing so hard. It was whatever. The 90s were a
I
weird
was literally just having a debate with my husband. I was like, is Keanu Reeves actually a good actor? I don't know. I mean,
after watching last night. I'm like,
he's fun to watch. Like I John Wick, probably some of my favorite movies because I just love an action movie. But I'm like, I don't know, man. He's had a very long career, and I hear he's a great guy. Like everybody who met him loves him. I'm like, is he a good actor? I don't know.
I think it's one of those things where it's like in action and horror and sci-fi, it's like there's more about like there's less about like emotional like intensity, whereas like in a rom-com you need to like feel it from somebody, and I was just like,
we have to connect with you. We have to be rooting for this romance, and I don't know about that one.
yeah, oh my gosh.
I love that you were like scraping the dregs of HBO to find this movie. They did everything they could to bury it, and you found it.
Yeah, we will go like I'll purposely just scroll down. Like I love a bad movie. That's something about me that's like I love to watch something that's so terrible because you're just like, how did it ever get to a theater? How did it ever get to HBO Max? Like, yeah, I love that. Okay, so I asked my followers to give us items to debate about, and we're gonna toot or boot these items. So toot if we like it, boot if we don't. This is game, obviously, if people are watching who know, was like made famous by two drag queens, but we're using it for the sake of this fiber podcast. So all of these have been submitted by other people. Okay, so first one, crochet cables, toot or boot?
Oh, can we boot them finally? Can we boot them?
Boot. It's a boot for me.
Boot them, boot them.
I'm sorry.
I love crochet. I'm obsessed with everything about it, but like they're not fun to do. And I mean, unless you're super skilled, they don't really look great all the time. And there's just so many other techniques. Like if you really want to get down on some crochet, like try mosaic, try intarsia, try Tunisian. Like there's so many directions you can go. And cables, it's not where it's at for me. It's a no for me. Boot it.
I agree. I'm coming clean about it too. So
I know. I'm glad we can get that off our chest. Like I've got so many people who are like, oh, you do something with cables. And I'm like, how can I tell you? Probably not. Like,
yeah.
No, never.
Yeah. Slub yarn.
Ooh. For crochet?
Well, for me, it's a toot, but I do more knitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think for knitting, it's a
cool.
Definite toot.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think for crochet, on the spectrum, it's going to lean towards a boot, but it's not full boot. And here's why. I think if you can be strategic about it, you know, like what kind of stitches, you know, like what kind of gauge to achieve with it. I feel like it works better with a slightly tighter gauge because otherwise the slub gets completely lost. And I think like super simple stitches. And I think you also can't go too wild with the color with crochet because you already have yarn going in every different direction. And now you've got these crazy colors and this wild texture. So
Yeah.
it can get out of control very, very quickly. I think it's mostly a boot because it's tough to know exactly what to do with it.
Yeah. I love it in like stockinette. Like so
Yeah.
you can like appreciate the pills, you know, like
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, this I honestly did not engineer this. The next one is beading in crochet, knitting. And like we have like literally a video recorded rant of us ranting about this, but it is such a boot for me because if you have ever yeah, if you have ever tried to put beads and like people are like, well, there's the pre-strung method and then the not, and then like the live method where you're
Mhm.
pulling it through. And I'm like, both of those are
Both of them.
torturous. Like,
Yes. Like first off, because I'm gonna be the person that doesn't string enough beads. So I
yes.
can't do the pre-string one because I'm gonna mess it up. I already know that. And then I don't have the patience to live string beads as I'm going. Now I will say there are designers out there who've done it right. Like by Stephanie Aaron, that cute little number she had with the beads on the sleeve.
Mhm.
I'm obsessed with it. I think Knitted Two's got a sweater or something coming out with beading like in the yoke. Love it. Well done. But as for me,
Yeah.
hard boot. Never.
Yes. I agree. I'm in the same camp. I'm like, I love that you did that and it looks so cool and beautiful, but it is not for me
A
because I
hard.
need to just like get in with the stitches and start and agree. Um, okay, this was a good one. Mohair nude illusions.
Wait, do tell. I need more.
Like, you know, like there's been a lot of designs lately where like there's like a V-neck where like this of like the traditional wool, but then they use
Sure.
like a panel of
Oh,
mohair to
sure.
give like
Oh, Toot all the way.
yeah, yeah,
But
okay.
honestly, mohair, hard stop. I'll take it however you want to give it. Like double stranded, triple stranded, illusions of all of it. Yep, mohair, I'm here for it. I'm a fan. And you know what? I feel like it's underutilized in crochet, myself included. And I would love to see more. I think we could be doing more with mohair in crochet for sure.
Yeah. I love mohair. I'm definitely allergic to Surrey. Remember all that big birdie base from Lamb Kit I got? I sold it
Um,
because I couldn't work with it. It was like making my throat itchy. And I was like,
not
I
gonna
don't want to
happen.
do this.
Like I'm
Yeah.
not trying to die for this crap.
Yeah. Next one was baubles.
Oh, Toot.
I
Oh,
love baubles.
me
This
too.
person did not feel kind about baubles. And I
You
was
know,
like, I love a
I
bauble.
I appreciate a bobble because it is controversial. Like either you love them or you kind of hate them. So there's another designer that I was really close with who said that bobbles look like skin tags. And I was like, you know what? That's super rude. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I still love them. And I do think that you have to strategically place them. Okay. Like I'm not going to wear an all over bobble sweater.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. But you give me some cute bobble detailing in a yoke, put it around some cuffs,
On
around like
like the shoulders, like
yes, give me a
yeah,
bobble accent because I feel like that's kind of the best way to use them. Otherwise, they just become like this thing that you threw at your project. But if you strategically place them, put them in really pretty colors or something, oh, bobbles are a full on two, full
yep,
two. Mm.
agree. Okay, next one was arm knitting. I guess I don't know. I kind of am gonna boot it
I'm a boot it.
because
It's a
yeah,
it's like knitting when you don't want to learn how to knit. Like
yeah,
I don't know. I don't
it's
know.
also just requires such a large yarn that you're like, I don't know
And
what
I
to
mean,
do.
and every time I think of arm knitting, I think of those like merino single ply blankets everybody was making and how awful it's going to look literally the next day.
Yeah,
And I just no, if you want to get into yarning, there's a lot of other directions to go, and I wouldn't go the arm knitting route. It
yeah.
wouldn't be my recommendation.
Yeah, I agree. Like I feel like that roving one ply that people do is like so it pills and tears so easily that I'm like, I feel like if I was gonna yarn, like if I was gonna arm knit, I would use like that like acrylic chenille, like
Yes.
like
Yeah.
just because
The acrylic
it's
chenille
sturdy.
or like that velvet, like that really tricky
Yes.
velvet people were doing. Like you need something that's got some hardiness to it to hold up to it because you got those giant stitches. And I mean, I just think about how my family just abuses throw blankets. Like it wouldn't last. It wouldn't last in my house, and they're expensive. Like
Yeah.
just a
Agreed.
lot of reasons to boot those.
This one is like, this one feels targeted, but
Oh,
someone
let's
said
get in some hot water.
granny squares. Toot. I'm laying on the horn, Toot. Like, I
Yeah.
love granny
Toot it
squares.
as loud as it can. Listen, there's a reason it's a classic. It's a reason that granny squares keep popping up. Okay. That's going to be like a lifelong toot, I think, society wise.
Yeah.
And I think too, what I appreciate about granny squares is it's where a lot of people get their start, you know, like that's how I got my start. And I couldn't imagine not having had that motif in my life. And I always have a granny project going. So, I mean, come on.
I know.
Big toot.
I
They're
love granny squares. Okay, someone submitted yoke sweaters. Actually, it was Alexi. I'm gonna name drop. It was Alexi because she wanted to like trigger something in me because I hate yoke sweaters. Like,
so yoke in what way? Like full on like top down sweaters, or you talk about like the really elaborate yokes? Is that what we mean?
I think Alexi was trying to get me to talk about why I hate them because they're so ill-fitting on me. Like, and like the construction, the top down, like it's not for me. I am like team raglan, like till the cows come home. Like,
and I am obsessed with a raglan, and I fully agree. I mean, even this sweater is not handmade, and this is a raglan. Like, I think it's more flattering on more body types. I can appreciate a yoke sweater because how beautiful they are, and I can also find value in the process of making one. Will I ever make one? Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will toot it for you, but it's a boot for me. It's a boot.
Oh my gosh. So, and yeah, I agree. But okay, so after that was our last one. That was, people really didn't hold back, but I want to know what is coming up for TLYarncrafts. What can folks expect in the future?
Well, there's a lot of very exciting stuff going on, some of which I can share and some of which not just yet. But I would love for folks to know that I'm going on several different events in the spring that are coming up. I'll be visiting yarn stores in Minneapolis, Chicago, the Detroit area. I'm bebopping around a little bit. I also have some virtual events coming up, and folks can find out all about those by going to TLYarncrafts.com and visiting my events page. And I'm also excited to finally share that I am writing my second book. It's happening. You got the exclusive, boo. Like, so yes, I am I am writing my second book. I'm not sharing the topic just yet, but it is a departure from Tunisian crochet. It will probably include some Tunisian crochet, but that is not the topic. So as time goes on, I'll be able to kind of drip out some more information. But yeah, I'm excited to finally share that. The ink is dry and I can put the word out.
Perfect. And I will share all of your socials, and I'll get some information from you after so folks know where to find you. But thank you so much for sitting down and chatting today. We absolutely loved it.
Thanks for having me.